Aloha, Common of Four Scholars. It's Instructor Meredith Wolbeck, and I just wanted to pop in and make this video to do a couple things. First, I want to congratulate you, and then second, I'll give you a little bit of guidance on how to go about completing your Week 7 ACT reflection that you'll be loading into your e-portfolio. So first, congratulations. Congratulations on making it to Week 7 so successfully. Even though I might push or nudge or challenge you to grow and deepen your work and your ideas, know that I'm your biggest fan behind the laptop cheering you on, and I'm so proud of everything you've done. You guys have really, as a whole, as a class, gone above expectations, and I genuinely mean that. Life is hard. Being a college student as an adult can be challenging, and then when we throw in the interesting variances from COVID-19, you know, we have an interesting session for us, but you guys did not let that stop you, and I'm so proud of you. So I hope that you can take a moment right now, even pause this video, and take a deep breath and congratulate yourself and just say, you're almost there. I'm so proud of you. Okay, now the other thing that I was going to do is, like usual, give you some feedback and guidance on ways to do particularly well on the ACT reflection. So I'm going to minimize myself here and go into the guidance slides that I have. Now, do note that I can't give you any guidance on the ACT assessment itself, but here's a couple hints. The ACT Workplace Documents Assessment is tough. I did not make it. It's a nationally made assessment, but keep in mind that whatever score you get, I'm going to include in the announcement that I post in class, I'm going to include the national average scoring chart so that you can see if your score is lower than what you felt it should have been, convert it to the national average and you'll see that you probably did better than you thought you did. So keep that in mind. But the ACT reflection guidance here that we have, as usual, we're going to go through the directions, some tips, and then a little bit of information on some academic evidence sources you might find particularly useful. So the assignment directions, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the directions here. We don't really have a Word file like we typically have in the past. You can access the rubric, but your main focus is going to be making sure that after you take the assessment that you answer all 4 of these questions. Describe how reading for information skills are different than leisurely reading skills. Provide an example of something you found confusing in the assessment. You know, you might mention a particular question or a specific spot in the assessment that was tricky. Then for number 3, I want you to give 3 tips to future Common 04 students who are preparing to take this test, because after you leave, I'm going to get a new set of students and they're going to be going through the same thing as you. So what are some tips that you would give them for this assessment? Make sure to use a bulleted list, which would also imply that you want to write this assessment in a Word document. And then the last one is, after taking the ACT assessment and thinking about your results, you know, what are you going to do going forward to make sure that you're striving to use the best reading skills you can in the workplace? Okay, make sure to provide 2 detailed actions. All right, so go ahead and read through those questions to get a better idea, but it's just a reflection prompt. So it's pretty gentle in terms of what you need to write about. All right, some tips. Tip number 1 of 4, make sure to create your assignment in a new blank Word file, and if you can, include a cover page because it's just best practice. It's a good way to be professional. Tip number 2, remember, you will be submitting your reflection to ePortfolio. It's not too tough, but it is different than how we typically submit our assignments. The ePortfolio is where you're going to hold and house different end of the session assignments that you do for each class typically. If you're not sure how to submit to ePortfolio, when you go into Week 7, there are some links to videos that show you how to do it. So make sure to go through those videos if you have any questions. I will do my best to help, but I do not have the student view, so I can't walk you through the process outside of what the video shows you. But do come to me with any questions if it's not working, and I can get you connected with the right person. Tech support, though, is the best option if you've reviewed all the videos. Tip 4, use the lecture notes to help you come up with tips. Okay. Remember, the question number 3 in the reflection is, what are tips you have for future students? Share some tips, but if you really don't know, go to the lecture notes and see if you have any ideas that are sparked. All right, now using academic evidence. I'm not going to be looking heavily for this, but I do want to see how you've taken what you've learned this week and reflected on it. So here are some topics that you might check out if you are just really trying to get some ideas of how to write about reading for the workplace, reading for information. I even have a section in the Lecture 7, it's Lecture 7, Lesson 6, that I actually included tips from former students. So that might be, an inspiration as you write that. All right, that's all I have. If it seems like a lot or you're seeming, to feel like you're getting overwhelmed, just remember, it's just a reflection and you're doing amazing. So open up a blank Word document after you take the assessment and just think about what it is that you gained and what you want to improve. The best time to do the reflection too is right after you've taken the assessment, just so the ideas are fresh in your mind. Okay? All right. I am looking forward to reading your reflections and working with you this final week. Remember, you guys are rocking it, and if you need anything, let me know. All right. Have a good week, and I'll talk to you in the discussion boards.